Hello and welcome back to Luke-N-SHAE'S Place. So glad you guys could stop by. I hope you're wearing your smile and that you're having a great day so far. And before I begin, help us grow our platform. You can do that by clicking that like button, get us in the algorithm so other people can come find us here at Luke-N-SHAE'S Place. Also, go ahead and put a heart in that comment section. Give us some feedback. We love to hear it and we'll reply. And don't forget to share. If you like the content that Luke and I are sharing with you, go ahead and share it with your family and friends. And that helps us grow as well. And don't forget to subscribe. That right there is the ultimate thing that we need you guys to do, because that really grows our platform. It's 100% free, and click that notification bell so that you get notified when Luke and I will be posting. So I have a reaction video, guys, planned for you guys. I tried to do it yesterday. There were some technical difficulties, but without further ado, I'm coming to you with it today. We're going to do it the right way, try to put out the best content for you guys. And relationships. Sometimes you have people that don't mind being extras in a relationship. They don't mind sharing one mate, right? So we have women that don't mind being the extra woman. So we're going to look at some stories from women that are in relationships. They have one man, but there's multiple women in the relationship. So we're going to check out that and see what their stories are. Let's go ahead and take a dive in.
We're twin sisters, and this is our man. We share a man. I'm Petunia.
I'm Pedaya.
This is Timber.
We all sleep in the same bed.
We share everything.
People judge us because I'm in a relationship with identical twins.
They hate our relationship. Every time we go outside, people stare at us.
Find people calling other people to come stare at us. They throw you out of their shops.
Sometimes he doesn't notice who's who.
If I feel like he has been giving my twin sister more attention than me, then I actually sit him down and then tell him that you've been giving my twin sister a lot of attention, so you need to give me attention also.
It feels like having the best of both worlds because they are not the same person. They are different. It's like sugar and salt. I won't say who's sugar and who's salt. No. I'm just saying they balance out each other in a way. Even your typical polygamy relationship don't contain sisters, but where it's actually...
So this is different right here. Wow. These are twin sisters, identical twins, and they are sharing the same guy. They're in a relationship with the same guy. I've heard of maybe borrowing a shirt or even your sister's jeans or something. I know I've done it growing up as a teenager, and sometimes my sister didn't even know that I did it. They didn't know I borrowed it. I was the baby, and sometimes they left for school early, and not to get into that, adult confessions, but yes, I heard of borrowing your siblings' clothes or shoes or something like that, and sharing, wow, a snack or something. Hey, break you a piece of, let me have a piece of your, but to share the same man, that's on another level. I don't know. Is this something that is new? Is that, I don't know. Is this, I don't know. Let's listen to what they have to say. I'm not even going to guess. Let's just hear it.
Actually, sisters and it's identical twins. I knew there was going to be a lot of backlash. Some people are actually offended. Even when maybe we post a simple pic of us on social media, the backlash, you'd hear people saying all kinds of things.
A lot of people are saying on social media, they hate our relationship. They will be saying, we just want money. We're just young to be in a relationship with a man that is old. They will say, how old are the kids? And how old is the father?
These ones will kill each other. There's no such a thing.
This guy can obviously be in a relationship with twins. Obviously, he must be having some money. Obviously, maybe these twins are coming from a poor background.
They share the same bed, right? They share the same bed. Ewy for me. I thinking about that. That's my sister. That I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're being intimate with our boyfriend. How does that look? You guys are sharing the bedroom, so I get it. It's just that's what our minds. I'm not the only one. We need to know these things because you guys are sisters. Even if you weren't sisters, how does that look? I mean, I don't know. I've heard different people talk on different platforms and, oh yeah, I have multiple wives and, sometimes they're in different homes but they're all in one community. Oh, she lives around here and I go here some days, every day. This guy, his women are in the same room, in the same bed. How does that look? She's getting more attention. Hey, over here, don't forget me. How does that look? It sounds complicated. I don't know. It just sounds a little complicated to me. I don't want no parts of it. I can't.
Our man, he's busy making dinner for us. It's our birthday celebration, birthday month celebration, yeah.
So he is gonna actually make something. He said he's gonna make something special.
And we're going to wear his favorite outfit. Let's go. Here we go. Baby, we coming.
We love dressing the same. We gotta pick the outfit. I have the outfit. Okay. Oh, yeah, you would love these. It will look good on us.
My babies, your coffee is ready.
We like dressing the same because it looks good on us and it's like it makes us more and more and more identical.
People can tell that I'm with twins without even asking.
Okay.
Makes me feel like a king being kissed by two women in public.
You look stunning. Okay. You look amazing.
I've never dated twins before in my life. It took some time to adjust to. The bed is not big enough for 3 people to start with.
We have dated the same man before. We tried dating separately, but then it didn't work. Got to that point, it didn't work out. As twins, we've been raised in a different.
So basically, they're saying that they tried to date separately. They tried to get in relationships with other guys, but they had issues with that. I guess started maybe liking the other girl, the twin sisters guy, like, oh, wow, he's cute. I don't know how did that look, but they had issues trying to date other guys. So I guess they figured, well, since we like the same guys, we might as well date the same guys. I don't know if I don't know. What do you guys think? Go ahead and put a comment below. I love to read your comments about this. Would you do this with your sibling? If you and your sibling, oh, wow, he's cute. Or even a best friend, a friend. Would you just say, hey, we might as well just date the same guy since we both think he's cute? What does that look like? I mean, I don't know. Let's see what they say. See more.
We've been raised in a different way, eating in the same plate, doing everything together. We just started liking the same men. So that's how it started. We're like, okay, the first she was dating the guy, but then she just dated the guy maybe for 2 days, and then I'm like, ooh, I really like this guy too. And she's like, really? Okay, maybe we like the same thing. So let's just go for it. And then that's how we started doing it. Every time we go outside, people stare at us.
Their first surprise, are those twins? Oh, they are twins. Are those twins actually dating the same guy? Oh, they just both kissed him. And you get to the store and you find people calling other people to come stare at us. Like they've seen an animal they've never seen before. Now you have to answer all these questions. Do you ever walk up to couples and say, why are you guys both together? Because they ask such questions. What happens in the bedroom? Do you give them money? I think it kind of becomes too much sometimes. We are people who...
So he said people walk up to him and ask him questions. Oh yeah, people, curious minds. That's not something you see every day. That's not your average couple when you go into the store and you're shopping and you might see twins and you're like, oh, that's great. Look, there's twins. Hey, I'm a mother of twins, teenage boys. And honestly, this is different because even they have their own, okay, girl that they like. They have their own. I don't hear them saying, hey, no, I liked her first. We both like her. No, they have their own preference when it comes to girls and what girls they want to date or what girls they like. So it's never something like this. If I see twins, I think it's cool. I'm like, oh, look, they're twins. Or, you see kids that are the same height. Sometimes they're not identical, but you can just tell. And sometimes I'll ask, oh, are they twins? Especially if they're dressed alike, because I know I've done that when my boys were little. So, and these twins seem like they dress alike, these girls. When they said he was taking them out for their birthday, they're gonna put on his favorite outfit. It seems like everything they wear is the same. Hairstyles, hats, whatever they're doing, they're wearing it the same. So, but I don't know. He's saying people are asking him questions, and it's a bit much. But that's because it's a lot for someone to see. And I know it's no one's business, but it is. You're doing a lot. You have twins. And I'm just saying, for some guys out here, go ahead and put it in the comments. Some guys might be looking at you envious, like, oh, wow. I don't know. Guys, let me know. Would this be something you would be into if the girls allowed it? Would you date twins? Would you date sisters if they were okay with it? Some people, I've heard talking points where people said, oh, people married sisters in the Bible. There was people who had multiple wives in the Bible. They had concubines. They had maidservants. And they were having children by all these women. And so what's the difference now? I'm like, okay, well, there's a big difference now. And when you're not bought up into that, okay, and when that's something that you don't see every day, and yes, it goes on in different places, but when that's something you're not used to, yeah, it's kind of like you're going to look at it differently. But again, there are some people that don't mind it. So kudos to them. I mean, to each its own. All right, let's look at more.
Are marching to PDA. So we'll be kissing and hugging and all that. So some people, they throw you out of their shops. You will literally throw down of a shop. Even when we go to public areas like your public pools. This one time they actually even came to us, the manager of the establishment, and told us, no, kids can't be looking at you hugging and kissing. And
We're like, what?
to tell the truth, I was never really worried about what people might think.
When we first saw Temba, it was actually love at first sight. We were on a vacation while he was just passing by with the bags, like, ooh, look at that guy.
Somehow we exchanged numbers, and from there we started talking, yeah. I think a year down the line, that's when we went out on a date. After our first official date, it was clear this was it. I think we were monogamous from then on. Sat down and discussed how could this work. Set down a few ground rules. Every day was just me waking up, like when you bought a new car. Is this really happening? It's like I had stumbled upon a treasure.
So the rules, the compliments have to be there. Words of affirmation.
He said he stumbled upon a treasure. I'm sure there's a lot of men out here that might agree with you, sir. There might be a lot of men out here that agree with you stumbling upon a treasure. You didn't just get one, you got two. You got identical twins. And so, hey, they said it was basically love at first sight. The girls said they noticed him and they were like, oh, look at that guy. I just find that to be interesting because I'm thinking about my siblings and even friends. I don't want you to like the same guy as me. That makes me not want to like that guy, because if I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, and you tell me, oh man, isn't that the issue that we're having today? Everybody's going for the same guy. I keep hearing talks about that. Oh, everybody has the same kids. They have kids by the same guy. All the women want the same guy. And then you have these men out here that nobody's desiring. I don't want the guy that everybody's going for. Give me the guy that, I'm not saying he doesn't have to be desired. I'll desire him. There's something about him that I'll like. I don't want the one that, oh my goodness, yeah, he's cute too. Because then when I'm at work, what's going to happen? You're going to pop up over that. It happens, okay? We're not going to go there. It happens. All right, let's look at more.
You don't go to bed angry. We fight, we fix, and we continue. So that's the rule that kept us going.
Even if we don't want to talk, we have to talk, because then it's like breaking the rules.
We always go on dates together. No one is left behind. He can't even go out with his friends like for a long time because he'll be like, I miss you, my babies.
We do give each other space when you feel like you need a space.
I don't know, just listening to them and hearing that, okay, they go on dates together. That's cool. Date nights, they don't go to bed angry. That sounds like a normal relationship. I would agree. That's how it should be. Shouldn't be going to bed angry. Nice. Good job there. Good job there. But not wanting him to stay out long with his friends, okay? So if he goes out with his friends, it's shortly lived because you guys are either calling him or texting him, hey, we miss you. We miss our baby. No, it sounds like, I don't know, it's a little bit of, those two can't be away from each other, the sisters. It sounds like they can't be apart from each other. And being in a relationship with someone, it sounds like they can't be apart from him. A little bit of separation issue, I don't know. It just sounds like they have to be together, kind of clingy. That's what it sounds like. So, I don't know if that's healthy, but let's see more. Let's see more. I wonder if there's any jealousy going on between the sisters over him. Let's check it out.
You can go to another room, listen to your music and all that.
If I feel like he has been giving my twin sister more attention than me, then I actually sit him down and then tell him that you've been giving my twin sister a lot of attention, so you need to
There it is.
give me attention also. Whatever he does on the left side, he does on the right hand side.
Sometimes I feel left out. I think sometimes they forget me. When they start gossiping and they have their side chats, yeah, you're gossiping about me. I know.
We just talk.
I
We
know.
don't gossip. We just need our time and talk.
Even if everyone comes and goes, she's still here. So I think that's how important it is.
Dating two girls can be financially expensive, but I can handle it. Every girl dreams of having a white wedding with a white dress. So it's every boy's little dream that if one day I can have twins. My dream has become the loves of my life. What's on the horizon for us? I'll just see.
I wonder what that's going to look like. He just talked about every girl dreams about a wedding with a white dress. And so I wonder what that looks like, because if you guys are as serious as what it seems, that's going to be in the talks, right? One day somebody's going to be talking about marriage, and how is that going to be a thing? Like everything's, I can imagine, identical dresses, this, that, and other. And I don't know, like, where they are, because we know here, yeah, that's not something that is legal to have more than one wife, but there are people out here who will do those ceremonies where they just say their vows and it's not on paper. So I don't know how that looks and what happens with the kids. I was always curious to know. There's one man here, right? I don't know. Somebody put in the comments if you ever thought about this when it came to twins, like twin girls, because I think I saw a story like this similar, and I think in that story the other sister didn't know that the twin sister was kind of sneaking around with her boyfriend. I wonder when it comes to twins, because I always said, what if a set of identical twins date another set of identical twins. They get married, they have kids. Well, since they're identical, will their kids look alike? That just is it's amazing to me just to think. So even in this situation, okay, both of these women with the same guy, when you start having, it just makes me wonder, because you have identical twins and they look just alike, and that guy, it just makes you wonder how that turns out. But just curious, that's neat. But anyway, let's hear more.
A lot of kids. This is a legacy that we are starting out here. We came upon this and we are loving it. Every step of the way, we are not doing it to prove anything to anyone.
To the people who judge us, I would like to say, just focus on your life and never focus on others.
This is our life, and you have to actually mind your own business.
This is.
So she just said, for those that want to have things to say about their relationship, just focus on your life, she said. Well, this is my thing. When you are making a story about your life, when you are making your life public to everyone, including myself, then you're allowing me to comment, basically put content out there about your life. You're sharing your life. You have a whole thing about your life and your twin sister and your boyfriend, and wow, yeah, you just made it all of our business, honestly. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you definitely just shared your life with us. You did.
The other sister said, mind your business. Just mind your business. Mind it. Just keep minding your own business. Stay out of my business. Mind your business.
This is love. This is real.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. They said it's real love. That's real love, everyone. I mean, we can't say too much with that. That's what real love looks like to them sisters and that gentleman. So, I mean, that's interesting. Like I said, I love to read your comments, but I have another story that I want to share with you guys. Just hold put. This woman, she was I believe, the second wife. So let's look what she says and see what the outcome of that relationship was. Let's dive in.
So for me, I was like, okay, so you have stopped staying with your wife, you've come to stay with me. So we are not going to be two. And he said, no, you are not going to be two. I think the life I've spent with her is enough. Now we want to begin a new journey with you.
Helen fell in love with a married man a decade ago. Young and naive, she adored his company so much that within just a few days, she was willing to do anything for him. That was the moment she unknowingly trapped herself in a polygamous relationship, one that would cost her 10 years of her life.
So now this guy comes in very mature. He understands everything. Before I cough, everything has been done. You know, so
when a man breaks his marriage for another woman, we almost always blame the woman, because how could she be the one to break another woman's marriage? But have you ever stopped to wonder what makes a woman agree to become the other woman? Have you ever thought about the kind of life she leads when she becomes the second wife? Most of us don't bother to ask these questions, but they exist, and so do their answers.
we could go to church together. We could do our things together, just like any other marriage. And
Okay, so this woman, she is doing everything. What it sounds like, she got herself in a 10-year. She was in a relationship for a decade, and it sounds like it's serious. Going to church together, and that's different. It doesn't sound like he's hiding it, but I'd like to know more. Let's check this out because it sounds like this woman, she's got him, either close by, or I don't know if it's a different town from the first wife or whatever, but to be going to church, and that's people in the community and that's seeing this. So let's see what she got going on.
And yeah, deep inside that gap that you feel you lack sense of ownership over this person.
Today, Helen is going to give us a rare glimpse into such a relationship. How did she end up in it? What went wrong that led her to walk away? And what about the children?
It was not just in vain. I'm still grateful about it.
Before we dive into the video, here's a quick disclaimer. Brace yourself, because what you're about to witness is a kind of relationship math you've probably never heard of before.
Hello, my name is Helen Anindo, but people love call me Helen Nath. Yeah, I'm a mother of 3 lovely boys. I'm born again. I love God so much. I'm a single mom, and I can say that I became a single mom because of the situation that I was in. Yeah, so when you finish your high school and you come to many people, they move to the city to try to better their life and all that. At that tender age, when you're still young, you want to explore life and everything. So in my up and down, just trying to explore, of course, my brother welcomed me to the city. He did all that he can, and I'm forever grateful to him because of the effort and the role that he played in my life. Down the line, I got a job. I worked somewhere, and in the process, that work relationship, you meet people, opposite sex, some are married, some are not. So you're still there discovering your life, and every other woman would want to have.
Yeah, that's just how that goes, right? You start working. She's mentioning just little snippets of little things she started doing, and brother helped her, and she moved to the city, and she starts working, and you're meeting people and developing relationships, friendships. That's how it is. I don't know if she met this guy maybe on the job or something like that, but isn't that just how that is? When you're home, you're away from all that, all the hustle and bustle and the busyness and the noise and even the noises in your ear, those whispers and things. And usually at the workplace, that happens. I don't know. I don't know if people clock in and it's like, yeah, flirt time, let's go. But that's how that starts, with the work hours, because you're there for a long period of time. So I wonder if this started at work. But let's hear more. Let's hear what she has to say.
Have a good life, and as women love attention, we love people who can take care of us. Someone who's caring, someone who knows when you're happy, when you're not happy. That person who just comes in and tries to gap in a gap that you cannot gap in by yourself. So by then I was working, and then there's a good friend that we met, and we began to be friends. We are so close, like someone you could look up to as a mentor, and you would reach out, tell him some of the issues you're facing in relationships. Yeah, so our relationship grew so close. In a way that we couldn't go a day without talking. By then he was married, but now I'm here trying to discover myself, though I had 1 child by then. So we continued with the relationship.
Sounds all too familiar at work. That's how that starts.
He was there
Start telling your business. He starts telling you his.
Saying these are God sent. Yeah, so he provided for me, for my son. By that time I had 1 son. and I could reach out. He could pay my bills. Sometimes when I'm stuck, he could come in, chip in food and everything. But no strings attached. That's good friends and all that. Yeah, so later on, our relationship grew tight, and it came to a time now, things have to, he confessed, because he also was having some challenges in this marriage. So he opened up and told me some of the challenges they were going through. And I could tell myself, oh, why would a good person like this one have such, And because you're young and you are getting some help.
So it sounds like she was his shoulder and he was hers. Started opening up, and he started telling her about things in his marriage and issues that he's having in his marriage. And a work setting, it sounds all too familiar. That's how that starts. When you start having those conversations, and I'm not saying it happens all the time, but when it's with the opposite sex and you guys are having those conversations and you open up and you start to see something. Tell me if this sounds familiar to anyone. Like, you could go back in some of our old videos, and I also shared a video about this, being the work wife. There's a video called I Was the Work Wife. So, but when you sit here and you don't go there with the intentions on finding that friend, but when you're putting in those hours, it could be that his desk is right next to yours, or it's usually that person's somewhere nearby, and you start communicating, and it turns into, you actually look forward to going to work to see that person. That's your work bestie. And then, hey, we're going to be taking lunch together. Oh, I want you to try this. I made this last night. And you start bringing things for them to try. Next you know, it's like, wow, work doesn't seem so boring because I have this person there. And when they're absent, it seems like your whole day is long. It drags out. It's like, okay, how they have the audacity to get sick and not come to work today, because now my day sucks, right? That's just usually how that goes. That's the start of the work wife, work husband situation, relationship. And it seems like that's what she has going on here, but I like to hear more. Sounds like that's what it's getting to, because now they're opening up, oh my goodness, my home life. And sounds like he's paying some of her bills. She can call on him to pay things. So, and she said there was no strings attached, but let's see if it eventually did, because she's calling herself the second wife. So let's go.
Here and there, you don't go to dig deeper and ask questions. And I think that's what many girls do when they are in their comfort zone. You forget about any other person and just think about yourself. Am I able to eat? Are my bills being paid? You forget to find out, digging deeper, the background check of this person for real. Who is this person that I'm getting entangled with?
Overlooking them red flags.
Yeah, so that was my case by then, being that I was frustrated in relationship before. So now this guy comes in very mature. He understands everything. Before I cough, everything has been done. So I said, and he's suffering. Someone is taking advantage of him. Someone is misusing her in the name of marriage. So when he came out and things happened, now we became lovers and all that. He couldn't say no. I couldn't resist, because where do I start from again? He has established me. He has done some things for me. He's been always there for me. All my free time we are spending together. So it was hard for me to resist. And then number two, I think because of the age bracket, it was hard for me to ask some deeper, serious questions, like I can face someone today and want to know more about this person that I'm getting in.
I don't know. She's saying that they became lovers, just from that time of them talking. Of course, I kind of smelt that coming on, right? You just could sense it. Not just because of what the title of this, what this is being called, as far as the work, not the work wife. It should be called that because that's how it started. But being the second wife, you kind of felt that was going to be something leading up into that. So very interesting hearing her say that, because we knew that was going to happen, because all the signs were there. You start doing things, and she saw that he was paying for things, so she didn't want to ask questions deeper. Hey, so I know you have problems at home, but are you still sleeping with your wife? Are you guys still going out together? You need to know what kind of relationship, because it sounds like everything's okay. If you start asking questions, some people might not be, truthful when it comes to that, because they don't want you to know that everything's good at home. So they're not going to tell you all that. But it sounds like she said she wasn't going to ask all the important questions, because at the end of the day, he was helping to pay her bills. He was helping her. He was somebody that she could call on when she didn't have money for this or whatever the case might be. He was right there.
Girl, don't do it. Run!
Into.
In love, you want to believe in your partner so desperately that you silence your inner voice until it stops speaking to you altogether.
So later on, we now move together. The wife finds out we are in a relationship. She tried to separate us. So initially it was easy because I could understand her and we were on a good platform. So we break up, but after some time we come back together again. So later on I find myself now I'm pregnant for him. So I can't now come out. Things have happened. I've given the woman a chance to reconcile with the husband. They're still fighting. They're all having their own issues. And now I'm listening to just one side of the story.
I love how she said, I'm pregnant. I was pregnant for him. And we say by him, but she said for him. We need to start using it. Hey, I was pregnant for you.
Seeing a full post person who's very mature, intelligent, knows what to do, caring. Yeah, you can tell if he's taking care of me like this and I'm just a somebody. What about the wife? What else do people want? Sometimes they ask, what else do people want? So you'll ask yourself, what else do people want? You have someone like this and you're forced to have that kind. Yeah, so many things are led to that. And I can't say by then he was a bad person or what. No, he was there for me and he was willing to do, like now when things escalated, I'm pregnant, he had to bring his people. The mother came in, the brothers, the sisters, they came to know who's this lady now. So I also took him to my people because I told him I would not. And we love creating our own, how do I say, cocoon kind of life. This is what I think and this is what is the reality. So for me, I was like, okay, so you have stopped staying with your wife, you've come to stay with me. So we are not going to be two. And he said, no.
So this is a whole nother level. This fella here went on. This guy, he actually left his wife, his actual wife. That's not usually what happens in the work wife, work husband situation. But yes, I've heard of people leaving someone like, okay, I don't know, when you start to introduce other people into your relationship, then you start looking at the one at home and there was nothing wrong with the one at home. You're now creating things in your mind because now you're interested in someone else and you shouldn't even have crossed those lines to even know about her personal life. He shouldn't have known about yours. You shouldn't have known about his. Now you guys are like getting to know each other on like a dating level when you already have a significant other at home. And now it just sounds like this guy moved out his house. That's different. I thought, okay, when she said, oh, he was going to church with me, I thought maybe Sundays he might say, hey, I'm doing overtime and going to her, maybe going between houses like I'm going to your house. No, he moved out. Let's hear more.
No, we were not going to be two. I think the life I've spent with her is enough. Now we want to begin a new journey with you. So I didn't know there are formalities to that, to observe and all that. Just because I know when you're in love, if you're so blind and you don't even hear some things. So later on, I was like, okay, after all, I'm not getting in a polygamous. Now build my own understanding. I'm not getting in a polygamous. This person has left the wife. Now we are. So when I went home, I told my people, you know what? Yes, he was married, but they are no longer together. So it's us. So I took him to my people. We did the introduction and everything was okay from there. And we began to stay like a husband and wife. Yeah, so we stayed. We got our first child now with him. Now to me, that was the second born.
Anyone listening to you might wonder, how can you live like husband and wife without actually getting married? But
because she really wanted that man. how can you live like husband and wife? So again, here, that's something that is frowned upon. Not saying here in the U.S. it's not, because yeah, you have people who live together for a lot of years and they're not married, but that's something, especially when you're Christians and they teach you, oh, you're not supposed to shack, you not should be living with a man before marriage. Some people do it. Oh, I need to get to know the person. I need to make sure they're not messy. People have their different things that they might say when it comes to that, but for her, she really wanted that man because she just went full speed ahead. She avoided the red flags, and that's just what we do when we really like someone, right? When you really want someone, you tend to overlook things and you tend to make excuses for some of the things. Like, you could clearly see that over there on the shelf and you're not into that, but you know what? Oh, you know what? That might not be his. That might be his friends. Or you're making excuses for something that you wouldn't normally tolerate, different things, and you're just saying, oh, I know he has a wife, but he told me that she's a pain and she gets on his nerves. That's still not for you to decide, because he could be telling you that just so that he could then have you on the side. So, we kind of tend to overlook things because you really want the person. And I believe that's what happened with this woman. She really wanted him. And he was helping her to pay. She already had a son prior to him. So if he's putting food on the table, she was looking at it like, okay, well, that's my meal ticket right there, and he's doing for me. So whatever you're telling me about the wife at home, I'm just going to believe it because, hey, I'm not going to take this food off my table. I'm not going to do that. So, hey, let's just look at more.
The truth is, such cases are more common than you'd think. Often, after ending a marriage, some men avoid the topic of marriage altogether, using it as an excuse to maintain multiple relationships without commitment.
And many people, I think from Eastland, for humble beginning, how to begin from Kayole. There's just something with Kayole beginning humble. So we began from there. So from zero and all that, we grew gradually and all that. Yeah, but there were red flags, and I tell myself, not maybe it's because I'm pregnant. Because now I remember when I conceived, he asked me, how sure am I the pregnancy is mine? I've stayed with my wife over 20 years. She didn't give me a child. So how sure am I this one is yours? We've just stayed for some very short time. So I could, if that question could have come to my mind now, to me it was a red flag to run for my life. Because
And see, that's another thing that's interesting, where she said she got pregnant by this guy, and he asked her, he was like, well, how are you pregnant? I was with my wife for 20 years and she never got pregnant. Now, we know everybody's different. We know that there could have been different factors that his wife was going through, and that could have been an issue. I know somebody personally who had that happen. They were in a whole marriage for about the same amount of time, maybe 15 some years, and never had a child. They tried for a child in the first marriage that he had. He got with his second wife, and right from the gate, she was pregnant. And I don't even think they tried, but she got pregnant. And that was like a whole thing, because I believe he thought that he couldn't have kids. So sometimes that just happens. Sometimes two people together there might be different factors going on, but you get with someone else and all of a sudden there's a baby in the making. So yeah, that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean it's not yours, but interesting. But for the wife, the actual wife, maybe that is a good thing, because look what he up and did, so maybe that's something. It's sad that she has to suffer without her husband moving on and being somewhere with another woman, but you're not sitting there explaining to your children, oh, well, dad, where's daddy? Oh, he's up the street. He'll be back. You don't have to deal with that.
because I was like, why would you ask me such a question? So I decided to give him time, and the baby was born. The baby resembled him, everything and all that. And deep inside my heart, I knew I have not engaged in another relationship. Yeah, so it wasn't an easy time during that pregnancy. But then things went on. The baby was born. We continued our life. It was just a normal marriage, couple life. We could go to church together. We could do our things together, just like any other marriage. And yeah, deep inside, I know most girls, because I've shared with many girls about it, who have been in the same shoe, and they can attest. There's that gap that you feel you lack sense of ownership over this person. No matter how you try to lie to yourself that you are complete and everything is okay, he's yours. Even would we take his name and add to your name by force, you call yourself Mrs. So and so, you do what, you do some photos and shares on social media, my hubby and I, blah blah and all that. Deep inside there's that gap, there's that emptiness that says this person is not yours.
Interesting to hear her say that, because she's saying that you're going on through life. It seems like, I believe she said she was with him for 10 years, doing everything in and out of this relationship that a husband and wife would be doing, taking pictures on social media with the kids and family life, going to church and but she said there was a void. There's like an emptiness. There's something inside telling her this man's not yours. Because technically, yeah, that's true. That is true. He never was. He never was.
And you could feel it. And because I thought it was me alone, but when I related with so many people, they tell you, yeah, even though you're married and all that, I usually feel that sense of, it's like I'm stealing this person, and the sense of insecurity is so high that you think the way he got you, he will get another person, or he might even think about going to there. So you want to try to do everything. Actually, it's a very hard assignment. I wouldn't want anybody to go through it, because you want to do everything to please this person so that he can't think about going back. Number two, getting another party. So every time you want to find out, what does he love? Like, I could know he loves some good food, so I could make sure I'm on my toes making some good food. Then he doesn't love noise. Oh, okay. You don't want a woman to make noise to you. If I don't make any noise to you, not. So I could try to make a quiet home. Even when things like, you feel suffocated by things and everything, you don't want to make noise, because now one of the reasons why he ran away from a noisy person. So you check.
So it sounds like she was really trying to keep this man. She learned the things he loved. Okay, she learned what he didn't like, and she tried to keep her home according to what this man liked. Okay, he loves good food. I'm going to make sure I put good food on the table. He doesn't like a lot of noise. I'm going to keep the house quiet, which is interesting. I believe she said she had 3 boys, so she tried to keep the house quiet because her biggest fear was, I don't want him to leave me like he did his first wife, like he did her, to come to me. So she tried to keep her home, keep him home. That's what she was trying to do. So interesting.
Whenever you're having some good time, you find out, what don't you like? He could speak out, oh, that man was disrespectful, blah, 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 blah. He did not respect my people. He didn't have, she, blah, and all that. So you're not checking now. And what were you doing to trigger this person to be noisy or to... So you just think, you listen to one side of the story, and that is what you put on the table. So all along, I could try, my early years in that marriage, I could try to just give him what he's looking for. A peaceful home, a comfortable home. One of the reasons was also children. I want children. I think I've proven I'm fertile. I can give birth, so I gave him a son. And also, you try to be there. But it's a very hard assignment, I'm telling you, Mr. Serego. It's very hard. Because now you have to be on your toes. Protecting him, checking over in his phone. When did they last talk? What did they talk about? When he goes out, you want to find out, like, every time, where are you? What are you doing? You feel like if he's running later to work, how could he have gone back there?
In such an unconventional relationship, fear overshadows love.
So it sounds to me as there's some trust issues. She knows how she got this man. And now that he is fully at her house, she feels like if he's in the back room, she's wondering, okay, who's he on the phone with? When he leaves the house, did he go see her? What is he doing? Is there some sneaky stuff going on? So you got him, you got the man that you want, but you don't trust him because you know in the back of your mind, the way you got that man, that person is sneaky, he's up to something, and you feel like he's moving the way he was moving when he started messing with you. So interesting. So now she's walking on eggshells in her own home and she doesn't have peace because, again, like she already mentioned, he's not yours. Well, let's see more.
And ends up staying with you.
But in real sense, if you do your due diligence, you'll find out this guy has never left the marriage. You're just two in it. It's only that he wants to give you, because I think those men, they also study what women want, what this, let me say, strange women want. You just want to hear this side of the story, so that's what I'll be giving you. So he could build that wall between us and make sure I get my own dose of the story, and I think the other party, she could get her own. So around 2018, I think that's when my eyes begin to open and feel like there's something in me that I feel is blank. But what do I do? How do I go about it? Then now, during COVID, I could not resist. Like I could feel clearly I'm on the wrong track. I thought about myself and all that. So, and then many times when you have a child, when you've gotten a child outside the marriage, you tend to be desperate. Sometimes it happens, especially when you're still young. Because now I was there with my son. I'm wondering who will ever marry me with a child. And then this somebody is coming there, very comfortably, filling in the father figure in the life of this kid, doing everything, taking my son on holidays and all that. So I could see this a God-sent person.
Every toxic relationship has that one epiphanic moment. You just need the courage.
So she's saying that when he came around, she overlooked things because she was a single mother of her son. And she was in her mind thinking, who's going to marry me because I'm a single mother? She didn't feel like someone was going to come around. And here comes this guy that she met. And he is filling those shoes. He's taking care of house and home, and he wasn't even her husband. So she felt like he was a godsend. So, but we know that isn't true, because God is not going to send you someone else's husband. And I think right now she's telling us that she realized that as well. So let's hear more.
Courage to see it for what it is.
And then I remember there was a Spirit of God that just ministered to me when we began staying with this man. We had gone to sleep, and then it was a very clear voice. I can't say that I can forget about it, because the voice was like, this life you've chosen to live is not good. I want you to help girls outside there, but you cannot help them when you're in this relationship. So when I heard that voice on that particular day, there was a very close relative of mine who had
Not the voice. She said she heard a voice say, listen, she heard a voice, and she said she heard it loud and clear telling her, hey, this is not the life that you're supposed to be living. You're, you need to get right. Basically, you need to leave this life of sin, child. You need to run from this life of sin. Listen, she said she heard it loud as day. I don't know about you, but hearing the voice loud as day, I'm getting up, stopping whatever. Something needs to stop. No, Yeah. So let's see what happens when she heard that voice.
who had booked a counselor with me, another lady, to just counsel me and tell me what you're entering yourself in. It's a big mess. So I told myself, those are things that come in sleep because of the actions of the day or the activities. So probably the spirit was just speaking to me because of what I had with that lady. So I didn't give it, but that voice never left me. Like it could remind me. It was so clear with me even 10 years down the line. So I thought about myself, and I was like, I think I need to do something, but I didn't know how. Because here I have 3 boys. I've been this married for 10 years. I don't know how to come out. Our life entirely relies on this person for like provision, everything and all that. We have even now begun to do some projects together to just make sure our kids are comfortable and everything. Yeah, so you don't know how to come out of it. Before the society, we are the best. You know, when you go out, and this guy really, I think there's something that we women love to. I beg that men could just understand and do to their people. Like he could really know.
I just had a thought, and somebody go ahead and comment, and let's have a discussion about it. I just thought about this. So this man was married to his wife for 20 years, and he didn't have any kids with her, which sad all in itself, especially if they were trying. So what do you guys think about that? Because now he's with this other woman, and he's now had 2 children with her, and he's helping to raise her son that she had prior to him basically coming into her life. So women, when you think about that, right, and you see that does happen, and I know that they have all kinds of things that they can do now to help with that, but would you be willing to have your husband get into a relationship with a woman because you weren't able to have a child? Would that be something you would be okay with? I know people will say, oh, they've done that in the Bible and that. And, but listen, even with the story of Abraham and Sarah, and she wasn't waiting on the Lord, and she was going to be blessed with a child, but she wasn't being patient, but she gave her husband, that woman, to, I believe it was it Hagar? She gave her husband to sleep with her maidservant. And what happened was, when she got pregnant by Abraham, she kind of looked at Sarah like, okay, well, yeah, I just had a child by Abraham, kind of thing. She couldn't, I guess it kind of like, maybe she got a big head about herself. Okay, you couldn't have a child and I did, kind of thing. And it was a little bit of jealousy that went on. So what would you do in that situation if he told you, women, I only got with her because I wanted to experience fatherhood. I wanted to have a child. So would that be something, even if that's something that you guys explored? And I don't know if there was an issue with the doctor telling you guys, hey, maybe it's not the best decision for you. There could have been some medical issues. Would you be okay with him getting in another relationship with a woman? Not saying that that's what happened here, but that's also an interesting topic. But let's hear more.
Who this person is. I would really love that attention, to be sure I'm loved, I'm taken care of. So whenever we're in the public, he could give me like the best. Not that we didn't have our faults and everything, but he could come open the door for me, the car door for me. Before he sits, he'll pull the chair for me. When you're going to church, he'll carry my handbag, such kind. And I could feel comfortable. And I say like, it's good. Now this mature person understands me. I used to call him daddy, because him I could see a father figure, So So I could feel like someone was like, my father was there, but I could feel like, actually that was the time I could feel like when we were growing up, I missed that fatherly bit of my life, because now my father was a polygamist.
During those 10 years you were with him, did his first wife ever try to come back into the picture?
Yeah, she was there. Actually, I can say she was a fighter. For her, she understood her marriage. She understood this was a marriage that God gave her. That one I can say for sure, because after some time I could now do some study and understand. She knew she was not in that marriage because of the man, but because of God who put them together. That is now in my understanding, because all along she was there. She could fight for the marriage. Yeah, so initially she was friendly, and she could reach out to me in a friendly way, and she could like, I will hold your hand, I will do what and all that. But later on, when she knew now I think she came to understanding this thing has gone so deep, these people disconnecting, it's not easy. So now at some point she became radical, and she could throw some insults. So when the insults came...
I guess so. I could see that happening. So she's saying in the beginning the wife was talking to her nicely, and she said that the wife was a fighter. She was fighting for her husband. She was trying to get her husband back. All that time she was trying to get him back. And I guess after some time, even seeing her have children, and she started to become what she said radical. She started to say things on the phone that weren't so nice. I'm not just going to be nice to you anymore. I see that this is really a relationship. You guys are doing the mostest together. I didn't expect that. I thought he was leaving and coming back home, but now he's in a whole full-fledged relationship with you. So let's hear more.
Came could also ask the man why is she selling insult and all that. And now because he wants to tint a dirty image about her, he will speak about the weakness of this person. So now when I'm reiterating to the insults, I will just speak one weakness and share with her my message to her. So there was no good like a swift stay between me and him. There was no time we could meet, but we could throw. So for instance, if we were going to his home, she could go there when I'm not there. She could like visit the people when I'm not there. But when I'm going there, this man will try to block and make sure she's not in the picture. So we're just playing hide and seek between us, And I think at some point, now a mother who was never like understand kids come from God, telling your mom, I've gotten a woman and now she has given me a child, she's my mother. Of course, you'll run to this woman, So the mother loved me so much until the time she passed on. I also loved her because she never gave me hard time to stay in that home. They were always there for me. They were on my side all the time. Like you could feel the whole family is on my side and against him. Like, no, why is she still go? Like sometimes I could tell, your brother is still going to the first wife, So sometimes he hides himself. He goes there. You will get the communication in the phone later.
So with all that was going on, and she's saying that her husband was still going to see his first wife. She was with his family. She got close to his mother. She was just saying how close she was with his mother. And his sister and siblings were telling her, hey, yeah, my brother is still going to see the first wife. So if he was still going to see his first wife, right, his actual wife, what was so wrong? What was so wrong that he actually left house and home? Because it doesn't seem like anything was wrong at all. You're not going to go backwards. Here's this woman. She still waited, it seems like. Still waited for her husband. While he's doing all this and all this mess, the wife was still there for him to keep going back. He's going back to her. It sounds like he's gotten himself in between a web where he's going to the first wife and probably playing the second wife, telling her. But his family's actually telling her, yeah, he's still seeing her. Oh, it's a mess. It really is.
Find out they are doing some things together, and now you want to vent out, you talk to the people, and they were like, why is he still going there? What was he looking for and all that? And they could even tell him. But
what was he looking for?
I think
we know what he was going there for. Come on.
This woman has not like.
He still loved that woman. She didn't do nothing.
I think he could also understand this is the woman this is the covenant woman. But because of the situation now I'm with this one. So he's trying to love both of us and all that. I don't know how he could do it because he was good at that. To make sure both of us just dance along his music and all that. Yeah, so there were some issues here and there. It wasn't an easy stay. And you could live like you're stealing something, someone, some things. You want to do some projects, like you wanted to do some projects back at his home. But now we want to find out, where is she? Could she show up? Such kind. Yeah, you don't get that sense of ownership like completely you want to dominate somewhere and be like any other person who's married in a family. So there was that kind of a barrier. Yeah.
Living in a relationship like that can leave lasting scars that stay with you for a long time. Many women truly believe that a lavish life is only possible with a married man. What do you think about this mindset?
It's a lie and it's an act of laziness. Actually, that's what I come to realize. If you want to go to the best hotel, you can take yourself to the best hotel. Or are there hotels where they say you can't enter unless you're married or you have a rich man or something? No, I have come to realize that God has given all of us the capacity to live the life that we want to live to the fullness. And there are consequences of our choices. So, dating a man to leave his wife.
Very well said from her. You know, very well said what she's saying right now. I'm glad that she did come to the realization that this was not right. This wasn't right. And just because it glitters doesn't mean it's gold. He might have been doing things for you and all that, but should he have? You know, that's the question. And that could lead down the road to destruction, to this right here. And where's the happiness? And the time that you spent that 10 years, when you said you had a godsend, you thought he was a godsend, you could have had just that. With your son and all, you could have had just that. And it's a shame she sounds and seems like such a woman. Like guys always say, oh, I want the submissive woman. She was doing anything and everything to keep that guy. Oh, I want to make the best food. I want to keep the house quiet. I want to. So again, you know, and again, this is just one side to the story, but just listening to her and just seeing her mannerism and it just seems like, yeah, honey, I wish you would have waited, because that other guy was probably in passing, probably would have seen him at church somewhere. You just never know.
And children just to follow you. The same man is capable of leaving you to follow another person. Because whatever he's telling you about the first wife, it could be true, yeah, they could be having some challenges in marriage, but that does not give this person a passport to come out of the marriage and now start having affairs. And what goes around comes around. What
She said that well. She said just because somebody's having a problem or having issues in their marriage doesn't give you a passport, doesn't give them the passport to come out of their marriage and basically start another relationship. You know, it doesn't give you the right to do that. That's not a passport. Like, okay, well, she got on my nerves today, so let me go slide over to Sally's desk at work and hit her with some sweet nothings. No, it doesn't work like that. And like she's saying, what goes around comes around. The same way that you got that man could be the same way you lose that man. That's facts. That definitely could be a thing. So interesting. She's preaching right now, y'all. She's learning.
What goes around comes around. It will come to you. And I shall give my example. Even I who was there, I thought like I've made this man all that he wanted, and now you're okay. But now there were cheating cases. You could find some messages, funny messages from other guys, and you're like, okay, I thought this person knows what he wanted and all that. So no man will leave his wife for you and expect that you live there to be the angel to this man's life.
Wow.
And then number two, what do you get out of those expensive hotels? Why would I waste my destiny overnight to go? Probably this man is sick. Because any man who's doing that, he has a target. So I usually tell girls to be sensitive. You have seen the way these girls' bodies have been found everywhere, mutilated and everything. It's because of that. Find out why am I throwing my life to this man just because of a night? Then he gives me like 50 G's, 100 G's, but then I'm found in a box, you know? So girls need to work hard. We've been all given, God gives people the mind to create wealth. If you want good life, you can have it. And if you don't get it, appreciate what you have. But now when you look at it, you can like legally say, I have attained this through my hard work. It's good to take accountable of what you have. But if I can have iPhone, but I know this somebody denied his child's school fees to buy this iPhone for me, this somebody lied to the wife about this to give me this car. And when things happen, you've seen them, they come for their cars. Yeah, you've seen them all over. This man, when their things don't work as the relationship, they come for the car. They're not stupid. They give you the car, but they return with they hold the whole logbook. So when things happen, go hayway, they just come for their car. You know, the devil will not give you something for free. That's something for sure.
Very well put. But you've been in
Awesome!
I agree. Very well put indeed. Very well put. She said nothing is basically coming for free. You are going to get things from people. And she's saying, if I get something valuable, that's why she said iPhone. If I'm getting an iPhone from a man, or if he's getting me a car, and I find out, okay, he didn't pay his child's school fees, or he didn't pay something for his child, something his child needed, or his wife didn't know that, okay, he took money out of their account and he bought me that car with it. Okay, so that wasn't something that you gave me. You had to sneak and give me that. That wasn't something that I feel like I earned it out of you loving me. That was something, it's coming with some kind of price. And I don't think it's going to be a good one. So she's learning, and just hearing her say that. So that was her experience. I have to say, wow, both of those stories that I shared, they were interesting. And they were interesting. And just hearing her, hearing the twins at first, that was something to see. I don't know, that's a first for me as far as twin sisters, actually sisters dating the same guy and being okay with it. To each its own. Like I said, they told us to mind our business, but they put their video out here, so we are going to talk about it, because at the end of the day, I believe that's what that was done for, because maybe they were tired of people saying things, so they're like, hey, let's just tell people about our life. So we are talking about your life. That's what we're doing. And for the other woman that we just seen, she just went past those red flags. And she created a whole 10-year life with this man. And here this man, at the end of the day, was going back to the very woman that he left to be with you for. So I have to say, was there things really going wrong at home? Because what man is going to go back? I'm going back to the very person I left. It sounds like he left out of just, I don't know, maybe wanting to be with this other woman. So he figured, I'm just going to leave her. He didn't have anything to stay for besides being married to that woman, which should have been enough to keep him home. But he didn't have kids with her, so there was nothing else that was really pulling him to stay. So he just packed up and left. But did he leave? Because it sounds like he still was going back and forth. And she said she was finding other things in his phone, talking to other women. So this guy, he wasn't being faithful to nobody. He just sounded like he might have been, finessing, dropping some money here and there, playing with the boys, creating another one here and there. But other than that, he sounded like he was a straight up player. He wasn't trying to lay his hat down anywhere forever. He was one of those, Papa was a Rolling Stone, wherever he laid his hat was his home. That's what he was doing. But, oh my goodness, I'm going to end it there, guys. That was interesting. I hope that you enjoyed. Definitely eye-opening. I have to say, definitely eye-opening. I was like, for some of the stuff that was going on in there. But we got through it, and hopefully you guys, if you like it, go ahead and share it. Help us grow our platform. I appreciate you guys stopping by. And I'm going to end the video right there, guys. I want you to enjoy the rest of your day. Wear your smile. And I just want you to know I would not be trying to jump in any relationships with other people. I mean, I don't know. You guys let me know if you're okay with that. I mean, some people today might say, with the prices of things, it might lessen some costs when you talk about housing and food. But even with that, I'm sorry, I'm good with that. I don't need that. And a lot of people will tell me, hey, well, what about having help around the house? I'm like, I got kids, they have chores. Oh, don't you want somebody to maybe cook some time or clean? No, I'm good with that. I'm sorry. I never had the finances where I'm going to sit there and pay somebody to come in and do my chores. I want to do them. Because then what am I going to do? Sit down and not do anything? Yeah, I get it. People are tired when they get home from work, but I'm good. I don't want to share my man in a relationship. Anyway, at Luke-N-SHAE'S place, we like you to know your mental health is important. A positive mentality is a destined reality. Wear your smile. Stay positive. Until next time, stay blessed.